New Jersey. Notices were filed with the Township Clerk, and notices were mailed to all persons who have requested individual notice pursuant to the Open Public Meeting Act. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Butler? Oops. Mrs. Daly? Mr. Foster?
Here.
Mr. Grosskopf?
Here.
Dr. Marr?
Here.
Mrs. McLennan?
Here.
Ms. Nyquist?
Here.
Mrs. Ruvalo?
Here.
Mrs. Case?
Here. Any communications?
Nothing to report.
Okay. Board, committee, and liaison reports. Let us start with Karen.
Okay, there was not a meeting in July of the Morris County Ed Services Commission, but did get a mid-meeting or between-meeting update. Two things, as we've mentioned before, the enrollment in the school is declined to a point where they do have to do a staff adjustment. Excuse me. We set the goals for the superintendent for the coming year. And a big thing is there is, it's out of Middlesex County. It used to be called the Middlesex Ed Services Commission, but now it's called the New Jersey Ed Services Commission. And they are being studied by the New Jersey Controller's Office for two major discrepancies in their audits. And it's very unfortunate because it casts a real bad shadow on the ESCs in general. They've been charging fees when you shouldn't, and have excessive surplus, et cetera. So I just want to assure you that from what I can remember for the past minimum 4 years, we've had absolutely no audit recommendations whatsoever at the Morris County Ed Services. So, with respect to governance, we did discuss the board retreat, and there are a number of things that we discussed, like the length, its structure, preparing for it, the materials that we use for it. The big thing was thinking of it in terms of time frame, when it took place, and that it took place with the goal setting. Subsequent to our meeting, I had an opportunity to talk to Charlene. There is basically no guideline on the time frame for when you have to have the evaluation done or have to have your retreat. So we have some leeway or liberty in our scheduling. And we are going to be putting out a survey. We're going to the governance committee will finalize it at the next meeting. And among the items that we're going to ask about is, do we want to split that into 2 sessions? And, just take it from there. We want to obviously, we're going to use your results to help us frame for the next one. And it was brought up, although I wasn't there, it was brought up about more frequent get-togethers. I don't know if you remember, something was brought up earlier this year, and I had scheduled with Charlene. She's coming in November and in April for review, our goal review. So, and those will be 2-hour sessions. They're scheduled on our calendar already, for 2-hour sessions. One of the things we also talked about was there's this concern about strategic goal, board goal, district goal, committee goal. And one of the things that came out was basically there's a lot of administrative input to several of the, to all the committees, except for community relations. By that, I mean that you can get more, the committees get more guidance in terms of goal direction. So that's something that I guess you're going to work with Danielle about, right? Okay. Board training, I think you got a couple of emails from me regarding education opportunities as they stand now. And just to let you know, today I got an email from Charlene that we have reached the pinnacle where we can we are recertified as a master board. So it will be, quote unquote, announced at the October 2nd county meeting. Okay, now the really juicy one. The finance, we met last week, and we discussed our goals. 1, explore additional revenue sources, including potential grant and shared service opportunities that align with district operations. Successful implementation of the food lunch program and assess. Define and support the committee's role, the committee's being Finance Committee role in CUSAC. So we're going to finalize our goals at the next meeting. Hopefully, all the committees are going to be looking at finalizing their goals, too. With respect to the lunch program, I think we all got an email from Robin regarding the snafu that came with the lease agreement we had, and it was a nice a 5.45% lease to purchase agreement. Unfortunately, somehow we were linked with the township, the library, and
A NASPO contract.
a NASBO contract, and it messed up our rating. Robin's working on that, but we could, because of timing, she had to go out for another lease, lease purchase, so we got one at 6.81%. Now, previously, we were gonna start to pay on the lease until the June of the following year, so it'll be June of 26. But to save some money, Robin initiated that we're gonna start paying in January. So, okay. Food days, it'll be the ordering, and this is all gonna be brought out to the public in terms of a webinar that's gonna be coming out at the end of the month. They're gonna still use the platform of My Food Days. Your ordering, basically will be the same. You're not gonna see anything different, obviously, except for the menu choices. It should be a very, very easy transition. It's going to be linked to the Board of Education and not linked to PTO. There was a big question about pizza. Robin spoke with Natels, so there will be pizza served on Wednesdays, but it'll be served as part of a quote national lunch along with the lunch program. It's not just going to be a piece of pizza. So it's going to have to come with drink, fruit, and or vegetable.
This is very important. This may be the most important.
The big thing is, if somebody wants a second piece of pizza, you got to purchase a whole second lunch. So as we move along, we'll see what we can unravel with this. The lunch pricing has been set at elementary, $4.75, middle school, $5. Adult, that's the central of the middle schoolers, is $5.50, and you can purchase milk or juice for 75 cents. Basically, if I understand it correctly, the difference between, for the adult is that the portions are bigger. Okay. The food service position has been advertised.
The Gillette sign looks so good. I love seeing that.
What?
The Gillette sign. It has the
Yeah.
posting for the job.
Oh, I haven't passed. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
On this side of town, Karen. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm up the hill, So, it's not only the position of the aides, but there also will be a need for volunteers. Unfortunately, the PTO is not in a position to provide any volunteers, so got to look at other avenues to get help for that program, because they're going to need it. I mean, checking off and making sure that, the child gets what they ordered and that they're getting out right, and that the real lunch personnel worry about how, taking care of the meals. Are they keeping them hot, keeping it cold, and all of that stuff. Hudson Way, moving ahead with that. There's no contract technically signed yet, but tuition of $14,000 for 6 students to attend science for 1 period a day for 5 days a week. Now, depending on the number of students that decide to take Mandarin, that will be offered as an after-school activity, an intervention program, then the tuition will be adjusted accordingly and adjusted downwards, because that'll pay for that person teaching. Subscription busing is presently sitting at 61 subscription students. Ram has been working hard, and I think Jack too. 5 central routes have been shortened. There'll be more staging for pickup and drop-off. All students that are 0.4 miles from Central will not be provided subscription busing. And
Central students, right? Middle
that's what I
school
said. Did I
students.
say Central?
You said all students.
All students,
All Central Avenue students, middle school students who are 0.4 or closer.
all right, it's
Right,
all
middle
students.
school students, yeah.
Okay. All right, sorry.
That's
The
okay.
aid in lieu was increased from $11.65 to $11.70. And, okay, you'll see a number of agenda items. Treasury report, board secretary, the extraordinary aid, transportation aid, non-public state aid, PTO activities, and, the thing where we have to sign for vendors over 44,000. And at the meeting, all bills were reviewed and approved. So that's that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any questions?
Any questions?
One question. Karen, the adult lunch, are teachers able to purchase or staff able to purchase through this program?
Yeah, so the elementary lunch is $4.75, middle school lunch is $5, adult lunch, staff,
Okay.
$5.50.
Okay, so so anybody could get it?
Anybody
That's
can get it.
great.
Yeah, open to everybody.
Good news.
And,
Thank you.
and they will also be providing, an extra lunch or two in case somebody forgets to pay or, just,
Things
well,
happen.
for any kind of problem that can come up, so.
And those will go to the nurse's office.
Right.
Okay, Katie?
Okay. I know this might not be answered just yet, but in the past few days, if you bought food and you didn't show up to school because you were sick, there was no recourse for that. It was just limit the breaks. And
Right.
is that the same now?
No, there's going to be no pickup of lunch like there was before, where if you ordered 2 slices of pizza, you're out sick, and they came to the front office and asked for the pizza. Now, what happens, and this will be part of the food service aid position, at the end of the day, after they've marked off anybody who's absent will have the money refunded to their account, and the lunch will just be an extra lunch.
That's wonderful. And then my second question is, how far in advance would you have to order?
The menu will be provided 10 days in advance. It will be a full month's menu. You can order for a full month. You can order day by day, up to 48 hours in advance.
You are going to have a lot of happy parents who in the past have forgotten
Yeah.
So many happy
order.
parents.
And
Yes.
Mhm.
that is
Make
that
lunches
is a
for 3
game
months.
changer.
Yes.
And like I said, they will
lets me
be
know.
bringing a couple extra lunches to each school so that should mom forget to order and no child's going hungry, there will be a couple extra lunches available for that too. We're hoping the parents have an account because they'll just be billed like that. We don't want to do that often now.
The money that's being refunded to the parents, which I like, but who's absorbing that? Is it going to be a school district or is it the vendor?
And then,
The vendor's going to absorb it. Beautiful.
as one of the extra lunches then. Mhm.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, green. All right, Crystal.
Yes, so since Ms. Butler couldn't be here this evening, she just asked me to give the report for Student Achievement Committee. We will be meeting tomorrow at noon, and the agenda was disseminated earlier this week. That's it.
Great. Tom?
Nothing to report at this time, other than a public service announcement that tomorrow is National Night Out, and between 6 and 8, or 4 and 6, it's over here at the town hall. There's a
Okay.
get-together with police and firemen and games and rides and a band.
Nice. Okay.
Weather
Any
permitting.
questions? No? Okay, Justin?
Nothing to report.
All righty, Melissa?
The policy committee
Excuse
meeting met on July 16th at 8 p.m. via Google Meet. Special thank you to Justin, who did the minutes for this meeting, because I was not in attendance. And special thank you to Dr. Marr and Mr. Alexis, who also went to the meeting. There are a lot of policies, and what you'll see is that I'm going to make, prior to introducing the policies, a couple motions to amend a couple of the policies just to make some minor edits. We are on track to do I think we're on track to review 100 policies this year. And I'm in the process of making a policy committee manual for future policy committees as to how we review everything. The schedule for 2025 is already laid out in advance as to the policies that need to be reviewed for every meeting. So the policy committee is hard at work, and our next meeting is on, August 13th at 8:30 p.m., right?
Correct.
And we'll be reviewing a lot of other policies for that meeting.
Awesome. Any questions? No? Okay, Katie?
Nothing to report on the Buildings and Grounds Committee, but the Long Hill Ed Foundation is on Resolution 21. There is a resolution for 3 donations that we made for a total of $14,881.55 for wind turbines and hummingbird kits for the middle school STEAM program. This is really exciting. I wish I could go into how cool these projects are. I think the kids will be really excited. We're so thrilled to contribute to that. The Translate Live tablets, there'll be one at every school. I think we're donating to 2 schools this year. I'm not sure if it's all 3. But this is a great way for parents that are students that English language learners who might not be able to communicate well with office staff or teachers, etc. It's a 2-way tablet situation where they can type to each other so there's clear communication. And that's a really big issue right now, and so we're really excited to contribute to that. And then last year we donated a Gaga kit for Gillette School. And unfortunately, because space is such a premium at Gillette, it wasn't really being able to be used to its full capacity. So we worked with Mr. Manto, and we are going to contribute mats that allow the Gaga pit to be on flat ground outside all the time. So that'll be part of their playground, which is great. Gaga is so fun, and it's a great way to incorporate a lot of kids. So that's something we're really excited about. So there's that, and I wanted to kind of put together what we donated for this past school year, including those donations. We donated approximately $24,000 to $25,000. This includes the Long Hill Vex robotics team. We pay for the teacher who runs the program. The 5th grade Newark Museum field trip, video camera and communication devices for Central Middle School Theater productions. As I mentioned, the STEAM equipment, sensory inclusive materials for Millington school students, and also the playground equipment, the Translate Live, and finally we purchased school supply kits for the children that are in need. We covered that cost as well for the back to school. So we're really proud to contribute to the school, and keep your eye out for our fundraisers. And we are currently in a sponsorship drive to the local businesses. And if there's any parents that would like to sponsor us, we'd really appreciate it.
I believe that Translate Live is going to all 3 schools. So,
Oh, it is.
so yeah, very generous.
Nice. Katie, for that 25,000 that you distributed, was that the goal for this year? Did you
Yes.
hit? Okay.
Yes.
All right, nice.
We actually went a little bit over, but we're,
It's hard when you're, yeah.
yeah, no, I mean, that's our goal, is to we try to keep as little money in the bank. I mean, we obviously have to because of our fundraisers and things like that, but our goal is to spend as much as we make, or at least, we keep like reserves, but
Yeah.
the point of fundraising for the schools is to spend the money on
Absolutely.
valuable things. So this was a really good year, and we feel really proud of what we accomplished. And it was thanks, so many parents, businesses in our community. Teachers came to one of our fundraisers and helped us out there. It's a team effort, and it's exciting to see it in fruition. So
Thank you. Great job. Any questions for Katie? No? Okay. We are going to superintendent's report. Mr. Alexis.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. So at first, we've been hard at work. Our administrative leadership team has been out there recruiting staff for filling vacant positions. You'll see these appointments on the agenda tonight. We look forward to welcoming our new hires at our new teacher orientation on Tuesday, August 27th, and to welcoming back our full staff on opening day, Wednesday, August 28th. I want to echo a few things that Karen pointed out during her finance report. We have the resolutions adopting the National School Lunch Program. Robin's been very hard at work coordinating all the details. She's done a great job with that because she wants to make sure, we all do, that there's a successful launch of the program in September. So Robin and I will be scheduling, as Karen mentioned, a virtual meeting to discuss the lunch program and bus transportation on Tuesday, August 27th at 7 o'clock. And we'll be sending out a message about that. Also, with regard to the shared services arrangement with Hudson Way, Principal Vitarello is sending out a message this week to gauge interest in the after-school extracurricular program in Mandarin Chinese. So that should be going out this week. And again, we're very grateful for the LHEF's generous donation. It's really terrific. They're really helping to enhance our programs. Also on the agenda, we have state-required resolutions approving the Chapter 27 Emergency Virtual or Remote Instruction Plan, the district's English Language Learner 3-year plan, the mentoring plan, the district's professional development plan, the rubrics for teacher and administrator observation and evaluation, and the student handbooks and codes of conduct at each school. At next month's meeting, the district goals and action plans and the board goals will be on the agenda. We placed the proposed district goals on tonight's agenda so the community could see them. The first goal has been revised to incorporate the suggestion to use the students' typical growth according to iReady as a way to measure our progress. We appreciate that input. I thought it was a great suggestion. And that's it for my report this evening. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions? No. All right. Business Administrator's Report. Mrs. Bomer.
Thank you. Karen covered a lot of what we are approving tonight. I just want to go over a couple of things. Our extraordinary aid figure for this year is prior, 403, I'm so sorry, I've got the wrong number here. Anyway, what I want to tell you about the extraordinary aid figure is that they have, the state always gives us a certain number that we anticipate getting. This year it was only funded at 62%, last year was 72%, so that's why we never budget extraordinary aid, because it's anticipated. We never know exactly what number we're getting. I apologize, it's in the agenda.
Robin, it's 469,278. So
Thank you so much.
469,000, which was an improvement, an increase from last year. I remember you
Right, the
telling me.
prior year was 403,129. So, like I said, but that was at 72%. We also got transportation aid of 35,035. The prior year was 22,462, so just a little bit more there. We are also approving all the PTO activities. If you recall from back in like January, when we talked with the insurance rep, we're doing this to allow the board to give the PTO supervisor that the insurance coverage, that they are now going to supervise the activities for us. And that's an insurance reason. And that's what I have for tonight.
Okay. Any questions?
Yes. Robin, thank you for speaking with me this afternoon. And of the 469,000, you said that's going to be used to fund for a grant, correct?
No. So the extraordinary aid that we get
Mhm.
is always after the end of the year. It's last year's money. It's 23-24 funds, right? So it goes in as a receivable, and it just goes into our excess fund balance. Excess fund balance then is used to fund our capital projects, right? Through capital reserve or our maintenance reserve, and we put it there. So this is part of that little pot that we try to keep so that we have money to do the projects that we're doing, like the Millington Library, the Central Steam Room, the money for next year will be used to fund projects for the next year.
Okay, but didn't you say there was a grant that we needed to have enough money for, and this was part of that, or
Well,
no?
no,
We've already
it's not
seen
part of
It's
the
not
grant.
about-
No, it's
okay.
not part of the grant. What I was talking about is that our capital reserve,
Mhm.
that is going to go down. The number that you see on your treasurer's report that right now, and you have a preliminary treasurer's report, is approximately $2 million in cap reserve. So that money we have to put aside for the ROD grant. So in July, you're going to see an entry that is going to move a lot of that capital reserve into Fund 30, which is our ROD grant money, because we said that we are going to fund a portion of that. So a lot of that capital reserve is going to go away. This extraordinary aid is going to go back into the capital reserve to help us do projects. Does that make sense?
Just to kind of go along with what he was asking, I think where it kind of, what is this aid for? The aid is basically a reimbursement
Yes.
from the state
Mm-hmm.
for our out-of-district placements
Yes.
and things like that. So we've already spent that money, and so it's replacing it. So that's why it's put in the fund reserve, because we need that money, but we spent it already in this column. And so
Mhm.
it's coming in, and since we need that money elsewhere, it's
Mm.
moving into that. So
Okay.
it's money we budgeted for and have spent, and then now they reimbursed us so that we
So
choose
it's,
to spend it the way we want. It's
Mhm.
not,
so it's not like we're using extraordinary aid for something that it's not supposed to be used.
Right.
Because we already spent
Right, you
a
already
lot more
spent
than that
Mm-hmm.
on extraordinary.
Yeah, and the sad part is they say on the out-of-district placements, there's 3 different levels. So one is 80%, one is 75% of what they say they're going to reimburse, but then they come back and they tell you, of that 80%, we're only gonna reimburse 62% of it. That's it.
Mm.
And on our actors replacements, I always point them out on our budget because they are a startlingly high percentage of our budget. Usually it's like it's like,
It's always high, yeah.
it's very high.
It's gonna be lower next
almost $1
year.
million,
Yeah, we
right?
don't have as many next year. It's going
And
down.
so,
a bit.
in $20 million budget, you see a good portion of it going out. It's nice that we do get it back, but it is distressing when it's only 62%, but
Mhm.
take it.
And it is what it is.
And every district is facing the same.
Oh, everybody, yeah, everybody got 62%. It's not like
Yeah.
like they looked at us and said that. It's
Yes.
everybody.
Okay. So any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Oh, I did have one question. Sorry, we got the aid. The aid went up for the busing. So you said it went up like a little bit from last year.
Yeah.
But our busing expenses have gone up, what?
It's not our busing. They reimburse us for non-public busing, the amount that we spent to bus non-public students.
Oh,
Okay. Okay, thank you. To our public out there, comments from the public on agenda items? No. Okay.
sorry.
Okay, so let's go to resolutions. Karen, will you move in minutes number 1 and financials numbers 2 through 22?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions?
On number 20, it's through 22, correct?
Yes.
I would just like to make a comment on 22. I'm very happy to see this. I love seeing all this math, especially after we took a look at the iReady reports.
Mm-hmm.
So this is great. Good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, roll call, please.
Mrs. Butler, Mrs. Daly, Mr. Foster,
Yes.
Mr. Grosskopf,
Yes.
Dr. Marr,
Yes.
Mrs. McLennan,
Yes, but abstain from 21.
Ms. Nyquist,
Yes.
Ms. Rubelo,
Yes.
Mrs. Case.
Yes. Thank you. Crystal, will you move in special services numbers 23 through 26?
So moved.
Second?
Any questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Foster,
Yes.
Mr. Grosskopf,
Yes.
Ms. Dr. Marr,
Yes.
Mrs. McLennan,
Yes.
Ms. Nyquist,
Yes.
Ms. Rubelo,
Yes.
Mrs. Case.
Yes. Okay, Tom, will you move in personnel numbers 27 through 44?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Foster,
Yes.
Mr. Grosskopf,
Yes.
Dr. Marr,
Yes.
Mrs. McLennan,
Yes.
Ms. Nyquist,
Yes.
Ms. Rubelo,
Yes.
Mrs. Case.
Yes. Justin, will you move in curriculum number 45?
So moved.
Second?
Any questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Foster,
Yes.
Ms. Grosskopf,
Yes.
Dr. Marr,
Yes.
Mrs. McLennan,
Yes.
Ms. Nyquist,
Yes.
Ms. Rubelo,
Yes.
Mrs. Case.
Yes. Melissa, I'm just going to kind of turn the floor to you for policy.
All right. So for number 47, I'm going to be making a motion to amend this policy to permit 2 revisions. And those 2 revisions are the policy should be marked as a mandated policy, and the reference to grade 12 should be changed to grade 8. So I make a motion to amend 47 to make those adjustments.
So moved.
Second. Or no, you're moving, so he
Oh.
seconds.
Yeah.
Yep.
Justin
There you
seconds.
go. I second.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, or then we're going to have to go back to 46
Now
because you
we're
said
good.
47.
Well, so you want, okay. So first, before any other revisions, I
Okay,
move
wait, can I
number
just-
46 in.
Wait, don't we have to approve 47A first?
Well, so I thought we were going to do them as a lot,
Oh, okay.
but
Oh, that's actually a better idea. So do you want me to make the other motion then with the,
yeah, why don't we just go through all of them
Okay.
and then we can just move it all in. I think that would be okay.
that's- yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have 47,
For 47, I'm also making another motion.
because you have a second. Okay. Okay, go ahead, Melissa.
I'm also making another motion with regard to policy 4119.26, that's under number 50, and the references to Director of Technology should be changed to the Head of Information Technology.
Okay.
And with that said, do I have a,
Do you need a second for that one, too?
so moved?
Second,
Second.
second.
Okay. With that said, I'd like to move policies move resolutions 46 through 52 in, with the amendments just noted to 50, resolution 50 and resolution 47.
Second.
Okay, any questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Foster?
Yes.
Mr. Grosskopf?
Yes.
Dr. Marr?
Yes.
Mrs. McLennan?
Yes.
Ms. Nyquist?
Yes.
Mrs. Rubelo?
Yes.
Mrs. Case?
Yes. Okay, Katie, will you move in other numbers 53 through 58?
So moved.
Second.
That was Crystal.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, any questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Foster?
Yes.
Mr. Grosskopf?
Yes.
Dr. Marr?
Yes.
Mrs. McLennan?
Yes.
Ms. Nyquist?
Yes.
Mrs. Rubelo?
Yes.
Mrs. Case?
Yes. Okay. Any items for discussion? Any unfinished business? Any new business?
I'd like to touch on the new business item.
Okay.
I would, how can I do this? I guess, it doesn't have to be a motion, does it?
Don't know what it is, Tom.
I'm wondering if it's possible, if we could get the agendas any earlier than Friday afternoon. Friday morning's helpful, even Thursday evening's helpful. If it's possible. If it's too much on the staff and we can't do it, and that's the reason, it's fine. But I noticed this last weekend, we got it like around 1 o'clock instead of 4. Christmas week,
Yeah.
we got it a week early.
Well, yeah, it all depends. But right now, we're on summer hours, so Friday, the office closes at 1. That's why we've been rushing to get it out. And we can try to get it out by 1 o'clock during the school year. But the typical process is that we send it to the board president and vice president on Thursday and give them some time to look at it and see if they have questions or anything. And then we just finish it on Friday and send it out. So we'll try to keep to around 1 o'clock, but I don't know if it's going to come out any earlier, because sometimes there are last-minute changes, and then it avoids, if we make those changes on Friday, it avoids having to revise the agenda on Monday.
Okay. Any comments from the public? Okay. Exciting, next time we're back, it'll be after the start of the school year. How did that happen? But we're excited,
Yeah,
so enjoy the rest of your summer. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
George.